The database that you use with your Flutterflow app is a super important topic, and I feel like there's still a lot of confusion out there as to how your backend is supposed to work and what database is best to use. If you're building an application with Flutterflow, you still need to know the fundamentals of databases, and in this short video, I'm going to give you a crash course. At the moment, it seems like there's a two-way tie between Firebase and Supabase as a direct result of their integration with Flutterflow, and then a small group of people are using Xano and BuildShip and Appright and FastGen and custom backends and so on. In simple terms, there are two flavors, SQL or SQL and NoSQL. And in complicated terms, there are about 10 million flavors, but the truth is that the average Flutterflow user only really needs to know about SQL and NoSQL. And for reference, Firestore does fall under NoSQL, but most of the rest, Xano, FastGen, Supabase, Appright, they're all SQL based. And then BuildShip can handle both depending on how you use it. But SQL's not a database, neither is NoSQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language, so it's a query language. Same concept as a programming language, a way of giving instructions, but instead of giving a machine instructions to do something, SQL gives a database instructions to read or modify data in the database. And it is old. It's been around since the 70s, and it is very powerful. Older rarely translates to better in tech, but SQL has fought off all attempts to supersede it. It really is just a super powerful concept. And then you have NoSQL, which at one time was sort of called not SQL, but actually now it's generally accepted to mean not only SQL. So basically it isn't just one thing, it has a lot of different concepts that you can literally get a PhD in if you wanted to chase that conceptual rabbit hole as far as it goes. For us mere mortals that just want somewhere to put our data without getting a PhD in database administration, you can just think of spreadsheets for SQL as in rows and columns with a defined schema, and think JSON for NoSQL, kind of key value pairs, unstructured objects, and lists. One of them has a schema, the other one doesn't have a schema. Okay, so what are the actual databases that we're using? As I said, Firebase uses a NoSQL database, it's called Firestore. Then Xano's database is called PostgreSQL. Supabase, PostgreSQL, FastGen, PostgreSQL. Appright uses MariaDB, and then if you're using a custom backend, you'll use whatever you want. And there's a good chance that will be PostgreSQL as well. It's kind of a bias here, don't you think? PostgreSQL is just such an established database, and it's been around forever. It powers a lot of the internet, and it's absolutely bulletproof. It's a really safe choice in general. And more recently, it has the ability to actually store arrays and JSON objects within a column. So there's actually not a lot that you can't do with it. The really key thing to understand about PostgreSQL and other SQL databases is the concept of being relational. Let's say I have a simple app with a few tables, one for members of a club, one for events being held at the club, one for images of the event, and one for bookings. So a member can book to attend the event. Let's say I want to attend the event, and then I show up on the attendees list. In NoSQL, you could either store my ID in the bookings collection, meaning poorly performing, maybe even multiple queries to try to mimic what a relational database does, or you can just add my user details directly into that event bookings collection. But then what if I later change my profile picture in the members table? Now you need to run a script or something to sync it up, and it gets tricky. In SQL, it all just joins together using a concept that is actually called a join. So when you do the query itself, it all gets stapled together. And so if, for example, you had updated your profile picture in the members table after making that booking, the updated profile picture appears in the events list, just like it should. The argument for using NoSQL outside of large enterprise organizations that have really specific requirements can start to break down a little bit. I think I can sum it up with this phrase. If you're not sure whether you want SQL or NoSQL, you probably want SQL. And if you're not sure what SQL database to use, you probably want PostgreSQL. But Flutterflow has first-class support for Firestore. NoSQL is actually arguably easier to understand when you're starting out. You just have these structures and named data, and it's easy to reason about, and that's why Firestore in Flutterflow can seem pretty intuitive. The problems do come later, and there are a lot of stories about the hassle of having to migrate from Firestore to Supabase, which, trust me, is a massive pain in the ass. But there's also some serious gotchas when it comes to Flutterflow and Supabase. Push notifications are famously complex with Supabase for reasons that I'll go into in a different video. Ultimately, it's up to you. But I hope this short video has helped shed at least a little bit of light on the fundamentals with databases. And if you're finding the content helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel, drop a comment, and let me know what database you're using or thinking of using, and what's been the biggest factor in determining what you chose? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.